and a tip, a like, and a comment, and let's see how everybody's doing today, okay? It's gonna storm here, so I must turn on the lights. We need the rain a little bit. I do have some awesome plants starting to grow. Oh, and I wanna show you one thing. Kojak, not Kojak. Get out of there. Come on. Get out of there. You're too big. All right, then go. Go. He's not gonna listen. Okay, whatever. So, I got Galen Urso today. So, it's not a great sculpt, but he is my favorite character from Rogue One. So I'm happy I grabbed it, got it at Target. Just drove around, looking at all the fall stuff. Lowe's has their stuff out for Halloween. And they have Autumn Mums out already. And I'm like, I know, it's too early. It's only August 22nd. It's hot as hell outside. So I'm going to wait till probably late September to get my mums, because I want them to last at least till Halloween. And I'm going to be honest, those plants are really, once they go, they go. And you give them all the water you want. And when they're done, they're done. So, and my husband, I think, kind of looks at them like, well, this is a waste of money, but I just think they make the yard look really pretty. And I made a list for Halloween lights. Tomorrow I'm going to go downstairs and dig them out and see just how many sets I need, because every year you'll lose a few sets. So I'm going to do that, and then probably do the Christmas lights too, so I can actually kind of come up with a budget, and that's it. Good. All right. So all right. First off, J.J. Abrams lost his Apple TV show. All right. I think Variety gave Ryan Johnson a first look pics at his stupid new Knives Out sequel. Like, the movie made $3 trillion, so it's like, fuck. And you know, we got Beth Revis's book, so let's jump into it. Apparently, and Mike, if you want, jump in and tell me more, because I haven't read any of the reviews. Apparently, it's basically nothing more than an advertisement, like I said, for the Halcyon Cruiser, the fucking hotel, and Han romantically goes to the hotel gift shop to buy Leia her diamond. Okay, and I'm honestly wondering if it's that signet ring that she's wearing throughout the stupid sequel trilogy. It's like, first off, that's not romantic. It's cheap. Second of all, again, it shows the author's disregard of the character Han Solo. All right? It is the ring. Well, it's interesting. They're supposed to be divorced and she's still wearing her ring. Yeah, the blue stones. I would like to think they're lapis lazuli or something like that, just to make them a little fancy. I'm literally stunned by this. But again, it doesn't surprise me with I mean, they're trying to save the sequel trilogy. This is the story group's attempt at trying to save the dumpster fire. Now, we get it. We know Daniel Jose Older's family was probably dysfunctional, and he was probably beaten up as a kid. Claudia Gray was probably molested. Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. Justina Ireland thinks she's a victim. And of course, Pablo Hidalgo, he runs around going, I'm an immigrant, I'm a victim. First off, you fat fuck. You live in the greatest country in the world, okay? You wouldn't have anything that you have right now without America. So quietly go sit on it and twirl, you left-wing fascist cock, okay? There. Any children watching? I don't care. You just learned a whole new vocabulary. But this is the height of fuck you to the fans. And it's a fuck you to people like me. All right? Who, this is Han and Leia are why I love Star Wars. Okay? Dark Shadow, I'm really sorry to hear that. I know what you're going through. My mom died in 2012. It's a long story, and I'll be praying for you and your mom. God bless her soul. Okay. Anyway, back to what we've got going here. This is the height of fuck you to the fans. Okay. You know, and again, this is my go and watch my upload today. If you haven't, look, YouTube is fucking with everybody right now. One of my earlier videos got 1,400 views. Okay, I've had others with with over 900. In this one, it's been for like 4 hours and like 65 or 70. Come on, man. You know. Anyway, my analogy of, and I'm right here. Okay, if you've got something this sick and disgusting going on at Lucasfilm, going on at Pixar, going on at Marvel, oh, is Cap gay? Is Cap a virgin? Because that belongs in this, right? Just a second. I'll talk while I open up the pantry door. It's really like it really makes sense now when I think about the analogy of, you know, you get bit by a wood tick, and the wood tick's got a microbe in it, a bacteria or an amoeba in it that causes Lyme disease. Well, what do you think was going on in the Falcon for that, 44 days? You know, okay? That doesn't bother me, okay? I mean, when you watch, let's go back and before I'm literally a meme right now. Let's go back and talk about The Empire Strikes Back. In every shot between A New Hope and Hoth, Leia is in white. When you see her at Cloud City, she's wearing red. And, well, they're trying to say that. They can say that if they want. They just, look, they want to fuck with everybody. Because, look, again, sex is not romantic, okay? But, hey, Morgan, well, we're talking about something else right now. If I remember, I'll get back to it. The fact of the matter is, the symbolism of the color she's wearing on Cloud City before they get captured, red. Okay, red. Okay, so George Lucas, who, you know, chose the costumes, chose the colors, pretty much kind of tells us what was going on. Okay, so this book, you know, again, these people are sick. Okay, they tell your children, go out and have sex before you're ready. Okay, you know, straight sex is just whatever, and love who you love. their idea of romance is Neanderthalic. Okay. They sit there and tell people, I mean, again, Marvel attacking Captain America and bringing up his virginity or not virginity because why? This is what we're dealing with. Sex is not romantic. It isn't. And look, I got married when I was 36. Okay. It took me a long time to figure that out because women are different than men. And we look at physical expressions of that in a different way. Guys are not programmed that way. Okay. And that's fine. Okay. That is fine. Okay. I am really just disgusted because again, it disrespects what George wanted. It basically takes away from The Empire Strikes Back. But again, these people, thank you. It's not. I mean, well, I know that, but again, she mistakes what she thinks is romantic with fucking. Okay? And that's not the point. Okay? The point is it's very, everything is so, there's a courtship dance. When you watch, yes we do, Mike, yes we do. When we watch the old school movies, yes it is, it's very good for the soul. It's natural, it's biological even. And it's, when you see girls mistaking sex for love and getting heartbroken, and I am one of those girls that used to, all the time till I learned my lesson. My sisters all lied about it. The feminists lie about it. You know, my favorite character in Sex and the City is probably the one that's really mentally ill. Beyond Miranda, Samantha. And one of the things she says when you first meet her is, just go out and live your life and have sex like a man. She gets a lesson over and over again that you really can't. Okay, as a woman. Carrie is the prime example of that. And Charlotte, you know, that's like, she's smarter than Callista Flockhart, and that's all I can say. And then Miranda just, I've always hated that bitch. Anyway, a woman can't do that. That is a lie. We're biologically and psychologically not made to be that way. And the women that are that way, you better look into their psyche because they are fucked up. Okay, so what we have here with Beth Revis, I mean, all right, first off, she's morbidly obese. She's huge. All right, she's really just, you know, your typical, but she's married, fine. And it's very interesting to me looking at just the stuff that I've seen coming from her, coming from Claudia Gray and G.K. Johnston, and the rest of these people, that they've either fallen for the lie about sexuality and how women are, okay, and men, or they've fallen for the lie, but there are underlying psychological issues, okay? Like, I think Claudia Gray is a prime example of someone's fucked up in the head. Okay, now we got Beth Revis. She literally takes, in my opinion, the most romantic story in all of science fiction fantasy and in the movies and shits on it. She doesn't write books for adults. You have to understand, and I think Mike would actually agree with me on this. When you hear these people talk, they don't sound like grown-ups. They don't sound like fully formed adults. Okay, I mean, just go and before Pablo shut down, made his main account private, go look. I have the receipts. It's like a 15-year-old boy. I mean, Daniel Jose older, giggling like a 15-year-old girl about what they got away with the higher public. Okay, they don't realize what they look like to the older fans because they honestly think we don't exist, and there aren't a lot of us. But let me tell you this, okay? The reason why they're not successful is because they're not writers for adults. Wherein with Timothy Zahn, Troy Denning, A.C. Crispin, and the rest of these people, they wrote for grown-ups. Like Han's relationship with Brea Theron. You're looking at him about, what, 16, 17 years old at the time. He gets this girl away from basically where she was a slave, and she was addicted to a sound, and they go back to Corellia, and then they have to go run. Okay, they have to go on the run because her brother decides to turn them in. So they go on the run. They end up at Coruscant, and she dumps him. All right, but the way Crispin handled it, they were fooling around. All this was going on, but that wasn't the point. The point was his first love basically left him enough money to get to where he needed to go to take his test and go to the academy. And she dumped him. Okay. So the next time you see those two together, he is dressed up as an imperial officer, a young lieutenant, because he's bringing a bribe from Nar Shaddaa to this guy. And door opens and there's Brea. And she's a ginger, okay, wearing this really beautiful blue dress. And look, she's a kept woman. And he is heartbroken again. He's horrified. And they don't really, she acts like she doesn't know him, and he acts like he doesn't know her. And then that ends. But until you get to Rebel Dawn, he thinks that she's just fucked up. And it's very interesting to me, reading these books, is how the grown-up peek into all this is. Okay. There's romance, there's heartbreak, there's stupid teenage angst. Okay, you get to Rebel Dawn, and was actually spying for the Rebel Alliance when she was with that guy. And that guy, without saying it, was using her as a beard. Okay, I mean, you don't need to say he's a fag, but in order to go through life, he's got this pretty girl with him to make him look, okay. You don't need to write it. All you gotta do is read between the lines, the subtext. Okay. And Crispin was a Christian writer too, so I give her, brass ovary awards for that one. So Brea and Han catch up again, and they talk, They make a plan to go back to where she was kept as a slave and rob the place blind. And the smugglers from Nar Shaddaa and the Rebel Alliance will split the treasure 50-50. So they get back together again. Okay. In the end, Han loses one of the guys that works with him, this young kid named Jared, who just idolized him. And Han basically, when he was asked by the guy basically bringing in the bodies, what was his name, and Han gave him his last name. Okay, you get to that point, and all of a sudden, the Alliance gets hold of Bria and says plans have changed because they're attacking the Death Star. Galen Erso. And the Rebel Alliance just takes all of it, all the treasure. So Han looks like an asshole. And this is the thing. It was a very good way to make Lando pissed off at him. Because all those guys believed that he fucked up. Okay? And that he screwed them over, and he did not. Okay? He got screwed over too. Worse than anybody. The last thing Han says to her is, next time I see you, I'll kill you myself. Or I'll shoot you myself. This is a far cry from basically the man with no name, because that's who he was at that point. All right, this is a Western hero, an anti-hero. Clint Eastwood, Ethan from The Searchers, okay? There's only so much a man can tolerate, and then, she fucked him over, and the Alliance fucked him over, okay? So, at the end of Rebel Dawn, he's going back to Chalmers because Chewie basically gets him on the comlink and says, we've got a fare, we've got a charter, and it's going to be able to be enough to pay Jabba back, okay? And then all of this starts to happen. The main story starts to happen. Okay, it's a hell of a far cry, in my opinion, from this garbage that we've got now. Beth Revis, in my opinion, should never have been allowed. Go look at the titles of her books. She should never have been allowed near any of this. Again, I've read fanfic by people who've done a lot better. It's just, she's not, I'm sure that she got, because she's a college instructor, that she got a college degree in creative writing, but she didn't really take what she was taught about romance seriously. Oh yeah, thank you, Mike. Here's the deal. There are several different kinds of love. Mike understands where I'm going. There's agape, eros, phileo, and there's another one, and I can't remember what it was called. And George Lucas was very well versed in all of that. Okay. Every one of the writers that were chosen to specifically write for different characters were familiar with the Western, we're familiar with medieval literature, we're familiar with mythology, and I'm not just talking about, Greco-Roman mythology, I'm talking about Norse mythology, Asian Indian mythology, Middle Eastern mythology that is not Egyptian, okay, and American mythology, which is the Western, okay, Wyatt Earp, Doc Holliday, Bill Longley, Billy the Kid. So when I look at some of this crap, and of course Daniel Jose Older, old white men, dead white men, he's not gonna look at that. He's gonna look at it as, how can I make the black guy look super awesome and the white guy look like an asshole. All right. And that's what he did. All right. Claudia Gray isn't going to look at anything like, well, how can I make Leia a romantic figure? But look, let's go back. The end of A New Hope, you got Han here, Luke here, Chewbacca there, and who's standing above them? Leia. Taking away the things that George gave her cheapens her character. Okay, the one thing the artists and the writers did not do in the EU is cheapen her character. Beth Revis cheapened her. Claudia Gray cheapened her. All right, I'm sure G.K. Johnston has cheapened Padme. All right, they don't value their womanhood anymore. Okay, they honestly think that not being a virgin until you get married, or being a virgin until you get married is a bad thing. It denies your basic needs. Well, fuck that shit. Here's what your basic needs really are: eat, water, food. I said eat, water, food, a warm place to sleep, and security. Okay, you really, until you meet the right person, okay, you are not secure. Okay, there's a reason why they're prostitutes. All right, there's a reason. Okay, because those are women who are cheap against themselves. They've devalued their femininity. Okay, and when I look at Beth Revis, in fact, when I'm done here, I'm gonna rip her a new asshole on Twitter. Just wait. If you're on Twitter and you know what my account is, get ready. Okay. These women were taught to cheapen their femininity. As a Catholic, I'm gonna bring my beliefs in. The pill cheapens women's femininity. All right. I'm gonna say this. If you have never said, well, the pill made everything, easier for women, blah, blah, blah. It's the letter K, capital O, gorgeous one, number one. Okay. It's capital K, capital O, gorgeous one. Okay, that's my Twitter. If someone who cheapens women likes something, I have to say you need to turn around and run the other way from them. Okay, again, think about the end of A New Hope. Luke, Han, Chewbacca, Leia's up here. All right. What did Claudia Gray do with Leia in her book about the princess? Dragged her down into the gutter. Okay. What did Beth Revis do? She dragged that romantic relationship into the gutter. All right. And that is wrong. And that is something, as fans, we should not tolerate. Again, these people are what, in their early 40s, late 30s. They're not as well educated as we are. They've been told learning about Shakespeare is a bad thing. When you've got the BBC and Netflix, cheapening characters like the Queen of England and Shakespeare and all of that. I mean, you go back and all right, watch Anne of a Thousand Days. It's about Anne Boleyn. Genevieve Bujold played Anne Boleyn. And Richard Burton played Henry VIII. You don't see the stuff. Now, the show called The Tudors, you do. All right. Because there are people out there who don't understand romance and storytelling doesn't necessarily have to include body function. Okay. It's like, do you fart at night? I mean, think about that's what all of this is. They've cheapened men. They've cheapened women. Women are what does in Rob Roy, Liam Neeson, women are the soul of honor. Leia up there, the soul of honor. And what does Claudia Gray do? She cheapens her. She cheapens her. Now I know she'd argue with me and say, well, this is, women should. No, women shouldn't. Women shouldn't. Okay? I mean, again, I want to ask, what right does somebody like Claudia Gray have to do that? Besides, I don't give a shit if she signed a contract and Disney, put the money into it. Walt Disney championed the fairy tale. Snow White's romantic. The Lion King is romantic. Cinderella. Sleeping Beauty. And these people have cheapened all of it. Okay? And this is the thing I think us as fans here, okay, need to be outraged about. I mean, look, you've got a novel that's basically ad copy for a dumpster fire of a hotel that's not doing well. You've got a character like Leia who is a paragon of virtue, okay? She's a paragon of femininity and leadership without being a fucking butch bitch. And they've cheapened her, all right? Han, romantic hero. I think of, Lancelot de Lac. I think of Wyatt Earp. I think of Ethan from The Searchers, The Man with No Name. William Money from Unforgiven. Okay. The Han Solo that they think is that actual character is not that person. Okay. He is the character that, George Lucas grew up watching Western serials as a kid in the 50s. He is a John Ford hero, okay? All right? She wore a yellow ribbon. Wagon, was it? Stagecoach. Searchers again. Rio Bravo, okay? The Cowboys, all right? He's Gus McCrae from Lonesome Dove, all right? And the guy that they are fucking with could not have survived the things that Han Solo did to get to where he got to. Okay? There has to be a bit of an alpha male in this. And in this novel, there isn't. There isn't. All right? In The Force Awakens, there isn't. There's actually now proof, evidence, and I'm going to go when I'm done and watch it so I can update my stuff on Harrison Ford, where when he was done filming TFA, he was crying. In that he said he regretted, it's on video, I think, I was told, leaving. Okay? And it's very interesting to me now, if they had to deal with Han in TLJ, this would have been a different, vastly, vastly different trilogy. It would have, because he would have said, no, you're not doing this to Mark. You're not doing this to Carrie, and I'm not fucking gonna deal with it myself. Okay? It would never have happened. But anyway, my phone is dying, and because, again, I don't have a setup, I gotta go, because I gotta power this thing up. And I put Gail and Urso up with the other guys. So anyway, you guys have a good afternoon. I'm gonna go back, put the thing on the charger, and give Beth Revis a piece of my mind. Oh yeah, he was. Anyway, but I had to say something because it is fucking cheap. Hey, Skyrocket, fucking cheap. Okay? And it's like, look, to me, look at it this way. You got Kennedy with absolutely really nothing coming up. Okay? D23 on the 8th, they announced a bunch of stuff. I think only one Star Wars thing, and that's the making of Kenobi. All right? Where's the Acolyte? Where's Andor? All right, where's stuff about that? Where's, are they going to announce Mando 3? Are we going to get they haven't even said anything about an Ahsoka trailer. Okay? And she's still there. The mythology around this woman is fucking. And it really pisses me off. Okay? I think that these writers, I think everybody at Lucasfilm kind of sees the writing on the wall, in my opinion. I think they've been told. And I think they're saying fuck you to everybody before they get launched. Okay? I mean, it's not going to be, watching James Tobin wax rhapsodic about being on vacation and coming back and quitting his job at CNN. But Kenny just got back from a long, long vacation. Brian Stelter, the inept news potato getting fired. It's not going to be like that. Jeffrey Tobin, thanks, John. I don't watch CNN, so I really don't care. It is going to be just layoffs. We're just going to hear about layoffs. And the only way we're going to know if Hidalgo got laid off, and he is when he says on Twitter, after 20 years, he only worked there 10. But it's going to happen. I mean, go back and watch my upload from this morning, and go watch Valiant Renegade's discussion with WDW Pro. Shit's about to get real, okay? And Chapek is actually going to the fans to ask us what we want. So if you have Disney Plus and you're part of the Disney Plus family and you get a survey about Andor, fill the motherfucker out. Okay, fill it out. If you got one about She-Hulk, fill it out. If you got one about Boba Fett, fill it out. Okay? This is Steph, signing out. I'll see you around the galaxy.